I'm just checking to make sure I can hear you guys. Is anybody there?
Can hear you.
Great, thanks.
Hey everybody, let's get this council meeting started. I call to order the City of Roslyn Council meeting Tuesday, November 9th, 2021 at 4:33 p.m. Can we please stand and have a flag salute, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Cook?
Here.
Councilmember White?
Here.
Councilmember Adams?
Here.
Councilmember Missile?
Present.
Councilmember Uren?
Here.
Councilmember Scheer?
Present.
And Councilmember Gruber?
I'll make a motion to excuse tonight's absentee.
I actually think he might be on here.
Oh, sorry.
Are you there, Derek? Maybe not. That might be Corey.
Yeah. Here.
Okay.
Okay.
And Mayor House?
Here. Thanks for the motion, though, Nolan.
Yep.
I don't have any agenda updates. Does anybody from council have any agenda updates you'd like to present? Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda this evening. Checks and EFTs as follows. Check number 17404 to 17424 in the amount of $10,973.94. ACH AP in the amount of $8,570.27. And payroll from November 5th, 2021 in the amount of $16,158.32.
I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I did publish it, though.
I'll second that. Thanks, guys. We'll have the minutes on the next one. Apologize. Any discussion here, council? All in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed, say nay in your name, please. Okay, next on to our reports. We'll start with the police. Chief, are you on?
I am. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just to let you know, the police department, we've been busy with end-of-year projects. So we're trying to get those closed out before the end of the year. We have some long-term projects we're still plugging away on, but we anticipated for those not to be done by the end of the year. And for Roslyn specific, our desk and chair and computer and stuff is all ready to go to set up a workstation there at City Hall. But my understanding is construction is going to start again here real soon. So we'll have to discuss what you want us to do with that. If we want to just wait until you're set or how you want to do that. And the other thing I want to point out that thefts are on the rise. And we've been seeing a lot of thefts in and around our area. So Katie got hit really hard with a bunch of tool thefts. I'm sure you've been seeing that online. And they're not just stealing tools, they're stealing the entire trailers, everything. They're just cleaning construction sites out. And we've actually had a couple stolen cars, which is abnormal for us. We did recover the one pickup quickly that same day. But the plates were still stolen off of it, and the truck, of course, was damaged when they got to it. But there are some leads on that. It ended up being the stolen plates placed on another vehicle that was in Wenatchee, later in that day, and they were pursuing that for investigations on thefts in progress down in Wenatchee. So we're seeing a theft ring come through. I just want to remind everybody to be vigilant, watch each other's stuff, and if you see something going on at yours or your neighbor's house that's suspicious to you, please give us a call right away, and please utilize 911 to do so. And that's it, unless there's questions from anybody.
I guess not, Chief. I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you, guys.
We'll move on to the fire department. Is Chief Regan on?
I think she may be, but she may be just on the phone. If you're on the phone, Corey, if you just want to hit star asterisk 3. Hi.
Hi, Corey. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, Chief, go ahead.
Okay. So we just got done with the Burn to Learn Academy. I think we had about 9 people attend from 3 different fire districts, and we're still waiting to hear back from legal for the agreement with Cleellum, and we're still waiting for the delivery of our second engine. So kind of just in limbo right now. So that's about it.
It'll all happen soon.
Hopefully.
For now. Have a good night.
Any questions or comments, Council? All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the committees. Councilmember Cook, do you have anything from the CAC group, or is there anybody from CAC on?
Tim's on.
I believe that Ken Blanford, the CAC chair, is going to make a report. I wasn't at the last meeting, but I believe he's on.
Okay.
I'm here. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. The first thing we discussed was we're going to start trying to send a member about once a month to council to just kind of update with you as to what we're doing. That's why I'm here today. And we're having a little bit of communication issue within our group. We're often discussing issues of the forest, and so what we've decided to do is start taking pictures and adding them to our agendas. It's been a little frustrating to have someone say, I'm concerned about this issue, and then have to describe the area. So we're just going to start using pictures because we think that'll be easier on us and able to track what we're doing. We started a discussion as to whether or not we want to make a recommendation as to weed spraying, and we're going to continue that discussion. The other thing we're doing right now is we're working on an RFQ for the LSP. That was sent to us by the mayor, and we've started gathering information so we can get that done. Although it doesn't look like it's going to be quite as much work as we had initially thought it was going to be. But that was our meeting, and then we'll meet again in about a month.
That's great, Ken. I appreciate that. Any comments or questions, Council?
No, honestly, good to hear that we'll get monthly reports from the CAC, and thank you tonight for this report. And thank you all the committees and Chief as well, and the Chiefs.
And just to add to the CAC, we put a requested FPA amendment, I guess you would call it, from AFM to them for their meeting, and we got a lot of feedback from them, and good feedback, and we ran it through the forester, and it's been determined that it's not going to be productive to do any further work in this year, or at least until everything freezes, if you will. But Cody, the logger, will be coming out when he's done with the current work. There will be no amendment to the FPA. We have not applied to the DNR or anything. We'll let them finish, and they'll get out of there, and then we can start the restoration processes. And we got very valuable feedback from multiple members of the CAC that really helped foster communication between AFM and our team, and I think everybody was on the same page when it was all said and done.
So could I ask a question then, just to clarify? That means that there will be no further amendment to the FPA? Not now,
Correct.
but not in the spring?
Not this year. I'm not sure how the process works, but if we were going to do more work up there, I think we would just do a new FPA of some sort.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
okay, thanks.
Anything else, Council? Councilmember Adams, I don't know if the cemetery group has met or not. Do you have anything for that group?
No, they are in preparation for the grant for the irrigation, the new irrigation system. It has not been set in yet, so, but that's the only update I have at this point.
Okay, that's great news, though.
Yep.
All right. Councilmember Missile, do you have anything from the Planning and Historic Preservation Group?
We went back over the dark skies ordinance that, after the council's feedback, and it should be going back to council here, I think, the 1st of December, for another review, so. And then our next meeting will be the 24th at 4 o'clock with that group.
Okay, thanks, Tom. I'm not sure, I can't tell, but is there anybody from the library board or the Friends of the Library that would like to address council?
Lynn's on here. I don't know if she wants to. I don't know if she has. I don't see Bev on. Okay. Unless she's on the phone.
Oh, go ahead. What was your name, please?
It's Lynn.
Okay, Lynn, go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I'm just speaking up to say I didn't have anything.
Okay, fair enough. It sounds like the contractor's about ready to go. We should have a contract in front of council, I think, before the end of this month, and get that project started. The next up, we'll do staff reports. First up, we'll do Public Works with Bubba.
Hey guys, starting out, we reorganized all the no parking and 2-hour parking signs on Penn Avenue. You might have noticed we got rid of the old red ones that kind of had some stickers and different colored numbers on them. So we put all the black and white. That'll be the no parking 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. November 1st to March 1st on top. Green and white 2-hour parking signs below, and then we also kind of adjusted the height of some of the poles. We put them all in the proper height, which is supposed to be about 7 feet from the bottom of the sign. Next thing I got, we found the intake on Alaska Alley and 3rd Street. It's been buried from the last couple of years of snow plowing, so we're working on digging that out. We still got to clean in, maybe possibly jet truck to get it all cleaned out, and then we will build a new intake screen for that. Started organizing the F-150 bay on the south side of the shop, putting some of the stuff in the storage back behind the shop just so we can kind of go through, see what we have. It's kind of cool. We found a lot of stuff that we could use down the road. A few of the park mobile signs went up around town. You've probably seen a couple on Penn Ave, a couple over by the park. We're kind of coming up with some creative ways to put the rest of them up without saw cutting the concrete on Penn Ave. Other than that, the sander and the Boss flour on the 550, so that's ready to go, loaded with salt sand mix. We updated some lights on the old grader and loader, some newer LED lights, so it'll be a little better for the guys that are out early in the morning. Other than that, we serviced the F-150, the pickup truck, put the studs on the Escape, and I gave her a nice detailed job this morning when it was raining. So, other than that, if you guys have any questions, go ahead.
And I can say, I think as of the Monday, we actually made $15 in parking revenue.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think 12 is our share. So,
serious? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I'll try to get, maybe, I don't know, every other week, hopefully we can give you how that's going. And maybe if it does work out, it'll work better, you know, when the tourists actually come in Memorial and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's actually good news that it's getting acknowledged, whether it's 3 people or not. So, yeah, I think in spring we'll tell how it works.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's,
Okay, next up, I've asked Theo to speak to us to a couple things he's got on his agenda.
Theo Leonard here, Granite Civil Services. Got a couple items for you folks. One has to do with an upgrade at the treatment plant that we're looking at doing. As much as anything, as you know, we've been kind of going through the motions, confirming whether or not City of Roslyn was essentially going to stay on as the operator in conjunction with Valley Services right now, whether Veolia was going to be the full-time up there. As much as anything, since we got that nailed down, we want to move forward to upgrade our gas injection system. As some of you are aware, we use chlorine gas up at the treatment plant for disinfection. As much as anything, they have alternative systems now, one being a tablet system. That essentially kind of looks like a big Alka-Seltzer tab that you place in the system there. As much as anything, and kind of going through the motions and evaluating those, that tablet system, they work, but they require a lot more hand-holding, for lack of a better word. So as much as anything, the tablet system was going to just take too much time up. So we want to stick with the chlorine gas, but one of the things that we want to essentially retrograde it with is an automatic shutoff system. You know, right now we have two 150-pound tanks up there. What we don't really have is anything to automatically shut those off if we detect a leak. So what this system is, if you have it in your packet there for the halogen system, it essentially consists of the gas detector, the shutoff valves, and then there'd be installation involved. And the whole point of it there is that if that gas detector, we get any sort of little leak out of those chlorine tanks, that detector sniffs it out, and then it automatically shuts them off. And then on top of that, everything's remotely connected. So as much as anything, Bubba will get a prompt on his phone then as well. If those things automatically shut themselves off or some alarm kicks on, Bubba's going to automatically know about it. So as much as anything, the overall ask here is that we're looking to get essentially a budget of $15,000 approved to account for the gas detector, which is going to be about $1,800, the shutoff valves, which are about $10 grand, and then the install work for about $2,000. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Does this affect that? Is this in that chlorine room that I think some of the safety stuff was dismantled several years ago?
You're absolutely correct, Jeff. There's those 250-pound tanks in there that are injecting chlorine gas into the system. Very common, very typical, nothing wrong with that. Chlorine gas is very accurate. That's why you don't have to babysit it as much. But at the same time, it's one of those, we don't have something like right now in the middle of the night, you know, even if we had somebody there full time, it's kind of those, what happens when somebody's not there. So absolutely, in that little room in the corner, we basically check off all the other boxes for safety in there. But the shutoff system's a pretty big one.
No, I think that's a great, that's a great upgrade considering that I believe in the past that thing was sort of disconnected of the safety issues. So if anything that protects employees from going in the room, if something were to happen and not know about it, and then the acknowledgement of being able to know not being on site is a bonus. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think
so council knows we've got it on the new business tonight. We can do a motion and vote and discuss it then. It is within the 2021 budget guidelines that we have currently. So this is for this year. This is not for next year.
Right.
the sprinkler system and the Eyewash center up there, are they still unusable?
We did get them hooked back up. The pump, they're off right now, but we did. Jim and Kyle went up there a while back and got everything working. We just have to put a cap on there's like a drain on the bottom of the Eyewash station. So we could look into seeing what we could do to keep them on full time.
Okay.
But I don't know why they obviously disconnected them, but I was just kind of worried about winter too.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't, it's always, you know, it's basically the water's gonna be sitting still in the pipe, so.
And
it's definitely on the list to make it work.
Okay, the only reason I bring it up is, I want to make sure that this isn't our only safety precaution that we have. I remember last time I was up there, it seemed like none of it was working, so I'm glad that at least we have this, and I totally am for spending the money to make sure that everybody's safe, and then there's the detection too if there's a leak. So, but sounds good. Thanks for bringing it up.
I just want to add, I concur 100% with Nolan. We need to have all of the safety systems working, in my opinion. You know, there's nothing worse than God forbid something happen and find out that, you know, it's been disconnected. That's, you know, no bueno.
Yeah, we'll work on all those. We're also working on like the security system. So anytime the door opens, it'll basically like tell me on my phone. And so when we get it all down, there'll be like each guy will have a keypad or a little thumb pad, and then you'll scan it when you go into the door. So if Jim's up there at 7:30 in the morning, my phone will basically ring and tell me, okay, Jim's entering the water treatment plant. And then if someone broke in, it'll tell me, hey, someone's in here that's not supposed to be.
Yeah, those are awesome. Every little precaution like that, every little thing you can get, I think, if it doesn't cost too much. I know this is $10,000 purchase, which does cost a lot, but every other little security measure that you can do, Bubba, that's awesome.
Theo, I did have one question, but maybe since you're talking about it, is you know what the expected life span of the chlorine equipment is that we're looking at?
For the new proposed one, I couldn't say. Everything comes with a warranty anymore. It's certainly something we can double check. One of the things we're leaning on for that particular system is that we're trying to align with what other folks, like City of Kittitas, it's the same exact system they're installing.
Okay, I was just curious if we could expect that we're going to have to replace it every 5 years, every 10 years, or...
You know, as much as anything, Councilmember Urine, you bring up a good point there where, to a certain extent on some of these things, one thing we're trying to do is get ahead, similarly how we updated the computer and the SCADA program up there. We can definitely essentially set timelines where we say, hey, once this technology kind of overruns and we can't get parts for these things, that pretty much, even if it's working well, as soon as we can't get parts for something, for myself anyways, it's obsolete now.
Okay.
Just a quick question on the Eyewash station up there at the plant. Do you have the backup cylinder, the backup just hand bottles hanging on a wall or anything where the Eyewash station is just in case?
Yeah, we have two separate brand new packs of that. I got a couple extra in the shop that were already here when I started.
Okay, just want to make sure, maybe check the dates on and make sure we're not out of date. But I just want to make sure we had something up there that was always working.
Yep, will do.
Are there any I didn't see any, but are there any replacement parts on this detector, filters, or any maintenance, annual maintenance that we have to do, or is it we set it and forget it until it tells us there's an alarm that we need to do something?
Yeah, you still want to, there's calibration to go through.
Yeah.
Which that's some of the stuff on the details we can dig into in terms of if it's annually, quarterly, across the board, whether it's our turbidity meters, chlorine analyzers. We're getting a lot better, essentially, about staying on those sort of maintenance programs.
Perfect. Love that answer. So we did it before, and we paid the price.
You know, there's a truism in public works is most of what goes on is pretty boring, recurring, but if you don't do the boring, recurring stuff, you get really exciting things to deal with.
Yep. You know, I completely second that. I always tell folks a good day on a construction site is a boring day.
You're not working hard enough.
Yeah, any more discussion on this, we can just do it in the new business section when you guys vote.
Okay.
So we'll move on to...
I have a question.
Can we do this during the motion?
It's not about, I'm wondering if we can get some information about the clear well, now that we